Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Anderson, and I'm coming to you with another episode on February 14th, 2025 of Quantum Living New Earth podcast. So today is technically Valentine's Day. So I thought that I would talk about relationships and partnerships and all of that through this transition that we are going into. So, if you're new to me, I speak about the transition, the ascension, the process, the new era that we are going into, and how that affects how you are affected by that, and how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the changes in energies that you have? Vibration, your vibration is changing, and thus your frequency is changing. The people around you are having changes, and the majority of them don't know, right? That something's going on. So they're running to the doctors, they're running around feeling frenetic and anxiety ridden, and that's spilling over to your life. And you're trying to figure out how to deal with this. So today I thought that I would come to you and kind of talk to you about the changes of relationships. I am currently in an almost 10-year marriage, and prior to that, I was in an almost 20-year marriage. So I have a little bit of experience being married and navigating. So I lived in a marriage pre 2014 that was purely like 3D, based on the third dimensional ideas and ways of being, where the woman, I was raised this way. I was raised that the woman is to do whatever the man wants, submit to the man. They get to make all the decisions. It doesn't matter how they're living their life. We are to support it and to uh, create space for it and be happy about it. So things are different now, right? Because we are figuring out who we are. So I know I have people that listen to me, whether you're a man or a woman. This is just all about how do we have our relationships, our intimate relationships, how do we have those in the new world that we're going into, the new era? What will that look like, and how will it be different? And how do we navigate this transition right now? Well, it's a little bit tricky, especially if you are in a situation where your partner isn't awake at all. Like they don't know something's going on. They think that you're completely crazy, or they think that you're into some new age thing or something like that. Or maybe you're not into anything and you're just living your life, and you're starting to wake up and realize that the way your relationships have been operating in the past it's no longer working now. And you're trying to figure out what to do, but all of this information, which is ancient information, but all of this information is hidden and there's not many people talking about it. Most people are busy talking about what Trump's doing and about what's going on with your money, because that's all anybody cares about is their precious money, which causes lots of relationship issues, right? Well, the biggest thing in our lives is our relationships. The biggest things. Though we put all this emphasis on how we're going to get money and what we're going to do with money. And when we have money in our relationships, everything is hunky dory. But as soon as things start getting challenging with money, there starts to become problems. Or if your partner earns lots of money and keeps you from the money, and you feel like you're enslaved to that, and you're not feeling like you can be your true self because you don't have the freedom to allocate funds where they would go towards your passions or whatever, whether it's you want to go to school, you want to start getting into some kind of business. All of this is predicated on another person if you're in a partnership. And now what's happening is the consciousness is raising. Everybody's consciousness is raising, even if it's their lower consciousness beings and they're just starting to realize something's going on with you. Uh, the consciousness is raising. And so that requires a new kind of way of being towards one another. So, what you basically have going on is you have hopefully two conscious individuals knowing this is happening, changes are happening. It's not that I don't love you anymore. It's not that I don't want to stay in this relationship. It's just that I'm trying to figure out who I am. You need to figure out who you are. And we need to give each other grace during this process, you know? And not having these expectations that the marriage should look or the partnership should look like the Hallmark movie or the Lifetime movie that you see. That isn't real. It's not real at all. And having all these expectations on what each partner is supposed to do. Let me tell you the secret. So, the secret to all of this isn't finding a new partner or judging your current partner and thinking about new partners or thinking about a new life, and just talking about what a great life you would have if you didn't have to deal with this partner. Okay. Everything that you see in your partner that you don't like, it's a reflection of something in you that you want to work on, remove, change, manipulate in some way to make it better. And your partner is bringing out that. And you're basically frustrated because you don't really want to do the work that it's going to take and the commitment and the consistency that's going to take to become whatever, to become your true self. And so you look at your partner and you see like maybe they're not doing as much as you. So they're easy scapegoats to point out their flaws and what they're doing and maybe negate your own. Well, one thing that I have realized is if you will turn the light towards yourself when you're seeing something with your partner that you don't like, first thing you want to do is turn the light on to yourself and ask yourself, why does that trigger me? Why does that bother me? And it can be anything, the way they walk bothers you, the way they say something, the way they put stuff away, um, or don't put stuff away. It can be anything, but you need to ask yourself, why is this triggering me? Why is this bothering me? And maybe it's not bothering you, which is good. But that will reveal to you what it's attached to and what you need to work on within yourself. So if it's, I mean, it can be anything. So put in the comments what it is that you feel like you're dealing with your partner that you have recognized in yourself. And once you've dug deep onto those things and cleared it within yourself, whether that is you're looking for love in your partners. If you're single and you're looking for love and you're just going on dates after dates and you're just looking for people, you're in your marriage and you think it's loveless, I'm going to tell you that you probably don't love yourself. You probably don't know who you are and you don't love yourself. You absolutely cannot love another human being if you don't know who you are and go through experiences with yourself, seeing yourself transcend obstacles and issues and stuff that make you proud of yourself, that make you fall in love with yourself, that make you feel whole. I'm telling you that when you feel whole within yourself, it absolutely doesn't matter what your partner is doing. It doesn't, I'm not saying it doesn't bother you while you're going through the transition of becoming whole, but you understand what is happening. You understand that there is a flux of energies, frequencies coming from the grand central sun that is waking up the consciousness of everybody, including your partner, and it's all happening at different rates. And you just need to keep on walking forward with what you know to do and being loving and kind and gracious to your partner, to your family members, to all the people that you have a relationship with, that you want to have a relationship with. Now, I am not talking about a situation if you have been in an abusive partnership and somebody is verbally abusing you, physically abusing you, okay, financially abusing you. All of those things might just be coming up to the surface now that you realize, to help you realize, that you need to become a sovereign being and you need to figure out how to do stuff on your own. Now, I'm not talking about, now this is where it gets a little, because people who are stay-at-home moms and things like that, and they're dependent on their spouse for, for everything, and they're not creating anything within that home. They feel like they're enslaved to, they stay at home, they're not creating anything. They just take their kids to school. Their kids go to public school and their kids in school all day. And they just sit at home and maybe clean the house or whatever. But they don't have access to money, or maybe they do and they just spend money, but they don't really have a direction that they're going on to. That's a big issue that husbands have with women not having a direction of where they're going. And the men think that they seem like they have a direction because they're going to a job every day, but the women feel lost because staying at home with kids but not doing anything and creating anything that really resonates with your soul, that creates frustration, that creates disharmony within the home, within the woman, when she doesn't have something that's her very own. So the reason I'm bringing all of this up, and it ties together with today, with the times that we're in, on February 14th of 2025, relationships are different. Love is different. No longer are we in a partnership. I come from a traditional Christian background, was in for 40 years. And I am very familiar with this type of structure. And the woman, the woman is home, or it doesn't matter if she's working or if she's home. The man is working, and everybody is assessing each other if they're fulfilling the expectations that the other partner had, whether that be financial, whether that be sexual, whether that be like look, weight wise, like are you the weight that you're supposed to be? Are you intimate with me as many times as I say that we should? Are you keeping the house clean and going to work? Like all these things. I see it all over X too, where these people constantly talk about the expectations of marriage and partnerships, and that the different partners don't want to do it. But nobody's talking about what it really takes and what is it that partnerships are supposed to be, especially in light of this quote new information, this new world that we're going into, this new earth that we're going into. How do we interact in a partnership? What is the purpose of our relationships? So I have found in my new marriage, I have been married for coming up 10 years in August of 25. And it started off basically traditional in the sense of me having my ideas, like getting into my role of, I'm cooking, I'm making food, he's taking the garbage out, he's working. While I was in a really interesting situation with my current husband, I I just started cooking and doing everything, making breakfast, all the things that I know to do. And he didn't want those things and he wasn't receiving those things. And I got really upset. And this happened over a period of time where I realized, uh, well, you don't want my food, you don't want my cooking. Um, when my last marriage, my husband was mad at me because I wouldn't make him breakfast every morning. And I didn't want to make him breakfast every morning because I didn't like that he was telling me that that was my job. It wasn't like an idea that it was nice. And I'm not talking about just like a croissant and coffee. I'm talking about full on pancakes, bacon, hash browns is what I made all the time when I was in my other marriage. Uh, but not enough because my ex-husband was frustrated with me and told me that, like, that's what you're to do. I'm going to work. You can get up and make me breakfast. Um, but there was never this thing in the old world, right? There's never was this idea that both people are individuals that are coming together to make a third thing. Or can the can each individual together make something even better together? Can, if they put their energies together and they combine their sacred geometry, could that make something better? So that's really what it is. That's really what the question is. So if you're dating people, you're dating them with the idea, which nobody is doing this, but you're dating them with the idea of, can this person support me in creating, whatever it is that your dreams are? You should be able to have any dreams that you want. And we are coming up, it's excruciatingly long, but we are coming up to a period of time where money will not be an object. So, ladies, you will not have to be beholden to a man, no matter what, for money. So, you will be able to make any kind of decisions that you want to make. And so will he. And everybody will have their own accounts and nobody will be trapped, nobody will be forced to stay. So with that in mind, how many of you guys knew that for when, but how many of you guys are planning on changing your partnership, or you're considering changing your partnerships after things loosen up a little bit? You feel like you have more freedom, or if you had more freedom, would you leave your partner? I have realized with my new partner that, because my new partner, my current husband, which I can tell you that if I had the information and the knowing that I have right now, I would not have done a legal marriage. I don't agree with that at all, because that has to do with the state and all of that. So I actually believe that since we're in the restored republic and we're having the de-evolution, I don't even think that the marriage contracts even hold any weight. But it's kind of like the mortgage, right? But you can get divorces online. You could pay, 120 bucks or whatever and do it all online. You don't need attorneys. But that's just a little caveat in the middle of the podcast. But you don't need to necessarily think about, because I'm noticing a lot of people are spending a lot of time like going through this and not making their plans on their life that they want to live, because they're in a relationship with somebody that they don't want to be in. And so they're fixated on that. Now, I know for a while when I was trying to figure out who I was, I did not get married to Derek so that I could cook him food. I did not get married to him so I could do his laundry. Do I do his laundry? Yes. Does he do his laundry sometimes? Yes. Would I like to hire someone to do our laundry? Yes. Instead of having fights about it or whatever. Because again, that's this expectation that, ooh, I'm at home, so I should be doing the laundry, right? But who's at home? Who's at home? Or right now, both of us are at home, and we're both figuring out that we need to be figuring out who we are individually, and we're moving forward into the unknown right now together. And I do have periods of time where I question, I don't see how this is going to work. Well, it's not going to work in the fifth dimensional consciousness. Your current relationships, no matter who you are, your current partnerships all will end. Like the 3D relationship that you had will end. Now, whether you stay with that person or whether you move on will be determined by if both of you understand what's going on, and you're not continuing to hold each other accountable for expectations that you have, and not defining the relationship on what's real. The relationship isn't about who's doing what expectation. The relationship, in my opinion, what the new 5D marriages or partnerships are for two people to combine their energies and that creative flow to create more things for the new earth, for the planet, to benefit the planet. Whether that's creating new children, which there's going to be a lot of that going on, because we need to. We have a population decline no matter what they're saying we do. So we really want to use our partnerships. We want to use our marriages to further God's kingdom, to further what our futures are going to be and what we want them to be. But I want you to know that within your marriage, if you're in a marriage that you don't prefer, and I know that a lot of you are, and I talk to you guys every week about your marriages, and you have 3D husbands, or you feel like you have 3D husbands or wives. I actually have quite a few husbands that their wives are not clicking in. And if they're listening to my information, the wives, of course, are, they won't interact with me because they don't understand what's happening. But some of the wives they're realizing and awakening, and they're letting their husbands listen. So we talked a little bit about the wives, or about the female kind of version. And I want to finish saying that when you're in this relationship, and you're trying to figure out how to navigate it and you want to make a higher level relationship, I think it's actually a good idea to maybe create some separation or some sort of boundaries for a period of time while you're going through these changes, whether that means sleeping in a new room. I don't know, but you could also create space for one another individually and then collect and then together. But make sure that every single day you have, I think, 2 hours minimum where you're by yourself, you're doing your meditations, your exercises, whatever. Um, and you're clearing your head and you're doing your breath work and you are considering everything um, and putting everything in the right spot. Now, that does not mean you're not going to have outbursts and you're not going to have things that upset you. But if you have this grounding, this time where you're grounded, where you're okay to tell your family, like formally tell them, I need my space. I'm going to be doing it from this time to this time. You are not to come in here. You are not to bother me. And when I'm done, I will come out and do whatever. But setting these boundaries is so important, but you will see a little bit of balking at first because they're used to having access to you all the time. And you usually give them access to you and you don't have any boundaries. And the same goes for the men, that they don't create healthy boundaries for themselves because they do need to be by themselves, but they have this pressure of spending time with the family. But all this division has happened in between. Everybody's trying to figure out who they are, and it's just gotten really, really complicated. So I just want you guys to, one, understand that this is a process. And this process is going to seem messy at first, but if you will just organize your life in like sections, believe in yourself, know that you're going to get to this point where you fall in love with yourself, you know who you are, you're a whole person. If your spouse leaves you, does crazy stuff during the process, this is the tricky part, but if they do, you can know that it's going to be okay. You don't have to know. This is the whole thing. This unknown, all these things that I'm talking about in all my podcasts, they all create this unknown. And when you're living in this unknown, it's you want that feeling to go away. That's why people turn to alcohol, drugs, sex, or whatever to kind of create that comfort feeling. And you know, coming from the old world, all of us have that experience of living in the old world. And the word, you remember, you guys, in the 90s, like you worried about all you worried about, your worst thing that you worried about was what was for dinner. And that seemed like a major thing. And now we have way, way, way bigger things to consider. Way bigger things to consider. We're talking about considering who you are. What is your soul's cry? Why are you here? What is your mission? And you cannot let some partner that is sitting around being, you know, not checking into life. They're not checking in. They're anesthetizing themselves with different things. They're not putting themselves first and saying, I'm going to figure out who I am. I understand you're doing the same thing, and I'm going to have grace with you. That doesn't mean you're not going to fight. And women, I say that uh, that there are parts in you that are going to be coming out and going to be kind of standing tall, that you are going to not allow certain things to happen to you that you allowed before. And maybe that's where they talk to you physically, who knows? But you guys know what they are. And you might be scared to change those things because of what it does, the dust up that happens. But I'm telling you that getting in touch with your soul, every person is going to be doing this, whether they want to or not. Your spirit will not sit in the back. Your spirit will not allow you to be used and allow you to accept things that don't align with your spirit. You will feel tension, you will feel agitation, you will not be happy, you will not be able to sleep, you'll not be able to eat. All these things, it's just going to keep on happening and happening and happening until you turn the light inwards. Turn the light inwards and start asking yourself why, what, how. Why am I doing this? Why am I triggered? How does this make me feel? What does this mean inside my relationship? If I become this new person, which you're not becoming a new person, you're just basically revealing who you've always been. If you don't feel like you're 100% yourself, you don't feel like you can be 100% yourself around your partner, then you're not living and you've got gifts that are being held back. And they might be being held back not because of your partner. You married your partner, you married the person or dated the person or living with the person that you're living with due to unhealed trauma that you have, and they kind of made that bleeding or that fraying of nerves feel calm. Or maybe they didn't, or maybe they didn't ever, they never did. You married somebody, got in a relationship with somebody, had children with somebody that you never felt right about, but you didn't know that you didn't even know that there was a feeling to feel, the rightness to feel, because you were young. I mean, that's basically what happened to me. I just was following the plan that I was told. This is what you do, and then you do this, and then you do this. So things are changing, everybody, and it's really affecting our relationships and affecting our marriage and affecting all aspects of the marriage and making it kind of confusing and making it maybe that you'll have like spiritual psychosis going through it. But if your partner can, if he can have a talk with you, if you can have a talk with him and them, her, him, whatever, and tell him, say, listen, this is going on. I'm going through a lot. I want to stay in the relationship, but it's going to look different. It's going to be different. And I need you to have some grace with me. Can you do that? You know, you say that to them, they'll be surprised. Okay. Because they'll ask you, well, what does that mean? And then that's where you have to get bold. And there's things that you might need to give up or put to the side for a while. I don't know. Every relationship's different. And I talk about this in my coaching. We come up with plans just depending on your situation. But you do what is best for you personally. And know that you are not here on this planet for another person. That is not why you're here. You're not here to be a battery charger for another human being. You're not here to run yourself ragged all day long where you have nothing to give. Okay. And then you start getting sick. You start getting conditions like thyroid conditions, Hashimoto's, lots of autoimmunes, diabetes, pre-diabetic, diabetes, Hashimoto's, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, arthritis, All of these things are an inflammation. They're all inflammation. They're all a fraying of the nerves. They're your body crying out, saying, stop, stop doing this. Stop doing things that make you sad. Stop doing things that upset you. Do what you love. Follow your passion. If you don't know how to do that or you're just feeling overwhelmed, that is my specialty in going through and kind of looking at what you have going on and where you want to go, or bringing out into you where you want to go, and giving you the confidence and the wherewithal to and come up with a plan on changing your life. And we can make serious transformations in 6 weeks. So look at that. Look at getting a life coach. Look at getting, an oracle, whatever you want to call us, to kind of help you through this. If you need it, I'm available. I also have physical products in my store that will help raise your consciousness. And I actually created a product that I would love for each of you to purchase and try it, and then personally tell me what you think of it. Put a review on my shop rawwithpeace.com. The product I'm talking about is my nanotech scrub, and I actually have it here to show you guys. So it's on sale for Valentine's Day, which is on, and we're going to keep it on sale for $35 for the month of February. For the month of February, for the rest of this month, use code NANO, NANO, at checkout, and you will get it 30% off. But I have reformulated it. So if you purchased it in the past, I reformulated it, and it's formulated with, the basis of it is boron, Epsom salts, magnesium, rose geranium oil, frankincense oil, and DMSO, a little bit of DMSO. So this, being boron, is a detox, and your whole body needs boron. It's a salt that your body needs. And this will get the nanotech out of your body, which we have thousands of little nanotechs in our body. So you scrub this all over. I'm a licensed esthetician. So I'm going to show you. Put some in your fingers, and this can be man or woman or child. Okay. But for your face, you want to do a little mini treatment. Cleanse your skin, and then put the scrub on 2 fingers like this, and then massage it into the face. Go behind the ears, inside of the ears, inside the neck, the back of the neck, up the occipital, your through here, which is where your lymphatic system is, and just scrub your whole body. Leave it on for 5 or 10 minutes. And it's also finished with we're combining it now, a beautiful organic almond oil. So I'm really wanting to get this out to everybody. This is a product made with love, specifically for humanity. I'm going to be developing other products, but this is our product right now for shoprawwithpeace.com. And I would love for you all to pick one up. $35, and it will basically replace your soap, your moisturizer, and a scrub. So you can also, after you rinse this off, if you need to shave, you can go ahead and shave, and you don't need to put a shaving cream on. So it's besides all of that, though, it's a detox that detox the nanotech that we all have. We all have it, the heavy metals and everything. So check out my shop. check out the nanotech scrub. We also have a private community where there are people in there that you can get to know and become friends with. That is at therealityshifters.com. And then, of course, you're watching this podcast. I'm on YouTube and I'm on X and I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I lost another account on TikTok for no reason because they've turned my image, they've taken my image and stolen my videos and turned them into scams, and people continue to interact with the fake me. And then what they do is they contact me personally on my text message and say, "Oh, Monica," and they talk to me like as if they've been talking to me on Telegram or something. I don't know why they don't come to me initially, but they don't. And then they go and I tell them, "Oh, it's a scam." So then they go turn in whoever it was that contacted them on TikTok, and they turn in my videos all at once, and the algorithm bans my account. So I'm done with TikTok for now. It's totally ridiculous. I can't utilize their programs. I can't show you guys the products, but my TikTok shop is there. So you can go to you can search Raw with Peace LLC for the shop on TikTok shop if you're on TikTok. But it's shoprawwithpeace.com. Everything is like unisex, but it's all for grounding and helping you raise your vibration. That is the point of it. And there's tarot cards in there, or there's a divine oracle deck that is really great. So yeah, so check out that stuff. Check out the nanotech scrub and get yourself all smooth and nice and healthy. So you will notice detox your skin as things start coming out of your skin. You will notice, like breaking out and things like that. But that is just purifying you. And if you just, again, walk through that fire when you start seeing your skin break out, all this, your mate is fussing with you, just be like, "It's okay. I'm just going." This is like the ugly part, when you clean your closet out and it just looks worse when everything, you're like, "What have I done?" Okay. You don't want to just throw everything out. You want to just keep going, get things organized. If your partner isn't willing to do all of this, they don't even understand what you're doing. They don't understand what you're doing. So you just do what you're doing. Be nice, be loving towards them without crossing your boundaries, and let them know, "You're not going to be talking to me like this anymore. We're not going to be interacting like this anymore. I'm figuring out who I am. I'm figuring out what all this means. And I hope that you'll be patient. And I hope that you'll do the same, because we all have to figure out who we are." And I have actually, now I got this stuff on my hands. I have actually gotten to the point where I just clearly state, "Not doing this. So if you are, we're not going to be interacting." And so then that gives them the option to change. But you have to be strong enough to know that you are going to be okay. I know that feeling. I know that feeling of being dependent on another person, being codependent on another person, and being scared to death of being on your own. And I'm saying on your own spiritually, and then physically is a whole nother thing. But you will get through it. You will get through it if you will just trust the universe. I'm telling you, the universe has your back, but you've got to just fall into it and let those wings catch you, and ask for help when you need help. Reach out to the sky. Reach out to the sky, reach out to me, reach out to a friend. Join my community. It's specifically for this. Whatever you need to do to get through this, we're here for you, setting up things for you. This is a unique kind of place that I'm in where I'm really talking about how do you practically live and put these energies in place in your life in a way that makes sense and that's empowering and that changes the world in a profound way. How do you do that? That's what I talk about. And I'm trying to figure it out. And but I'm doing it and I've completely changed my life and changed my relationships so that I'm only surrounded by people who are getting healthy, being healthy, and wanting to be healthy and wanting to work together. And the people who don't want to work together with me, the people who want to stay in the old world and want to stay in a toxic way, whether that be, my husband, my child, my children, old friends, whatever, they get to do that. And I respect them and I love them. But I am going to continue on and I'm going to move forward in these energies and create this beautiful world of harmony and peace that I know exists and that I'm living it. I'm living it inside of me. And I know that it's powerful enough to overtake everyone. So be confident in that, you guys. And please don't be shy. Reach out, say hi. I read all your comments and they mean a lot to me. And all of you guys that reach out, I love you and I thank you. And everybody have a beautiful rest of Valentine's Day today. We're having some great things happen in the world, so don't believe any of the negative things and give your significant other a genuine hug for at least more than 20 seconds and just tell them that you love them and that you thank them for going along with all your craziness these last few years and you know it's been crazy and difficult, but you appreciate them and their patience and their understanding. And that will go a long way, a long, long way. Even if you didn't feel like you got the gifts you wanted or whatever, right? It's not about gifts. It's not about getting gifts. It's about truly loving one another from a genuine heart space. That is what is important right now. Okay. Have a great day, everyone.